Hi everyone, my name is Leo and with this video we will share a demo review of the Chaos Audio STrATUS. The STrATUS is a pretty interesting, very small pedal which can run null A2 plus effects. First of all, we will hear the pedal in action with the demo song, then we will describe the pedal in details, then we will hear more sounds in a dedicated section of this video, and finally I will give you my 2 cents. So hope you enjoy and please subscribe and ring the bell to help me to create more content like this. Let's start with a THC demo song, totally human created, no AI. Let's now describe the Chaos Audio STrATUS. But before the specs, let me start with a bit of context, because to me the story of this pedal says something bigger about where guitar gear is right now. I think that the guitar gear world is incredibly effervescent right now. New product launching almost every week, small companies getting their ideas off the ground through crowdfunding and Kickstarter campaign. You could have worried that with AI everywhere, fewer people would bother picking up a real guitar. And yet the market seems to be full of energy and new ideas. And I'm very happy about that, of course. The STrATUS is a great example of exactly this. A small company, a crowdfunded idea, and a product that uses new technology, including AI, not to replace the guitar, but to make playing more fun. So let's see what it actually does. First of all, we can use up to 7 effects together in the chain in any order we want, and we can stack more than one instance of the same effect. The catch is processing power. The STrATUS has a dynamic CPU limit, and when you hit it, the app tells you. Therefore, I would say that we have a range of roughly 2 to 7 effects, depending on how heavy the algorithms are. And to be noticed that once we load a null A2 profile, we are gonna be eating around half the CPU. The STrATUS comes bundled with a set of effects like overdrives, distortions, fuzzes, chorus, phaser, tremolo, delay, reverb, and so on. And we can grab more effects from Chaos Audio's Tone Shop, which is an open development platform so that other developers can build for it 2. On top of the standard plugins, there are two things that makes this pedal stand out, and they are the reason it's on my channel. The first is the AI FX Builder, and this is worth explaining properly because it's not just a fancy preset browser. We can describe the sound we want in plain English, I mean something like 80s metal distortion or clean with a jazzy reverb or warm tape delay, and the AI actually writes a brand new effect for us. Under the hood it generates the algorithm in Faust, which is a programming language made for real-time audio, and it iterates on that code several times, debugging and refining it until the result matches what we asked for. Then we can preview the effect, tweak it, save it, and of course load it straight onto our STrATUS. A couple of practical things you'll want to know. First, the cost model. We get a number of free builds to start with, and after that we top up either with the one-time credit packs or a monthly subscription. Each build is an effect we own forever, and importantly, we also own the underlying Faust code, and we can export it, for instance also in order to convert it to VST and load it in our DAW, which is a pretty cool idea. The second thing that makes this pedal stand out, and the big one for me, is the amp modeling and NUM support. I mean, the STrATUS can run NUM captures, and this is the part I care about the most. A couple of important details here, straight from Chaos Audio. The unit runs a NUM A2 Lite model. That's the lighter version of the A2 architecture, and currently we can run one A2 Lite model at a time. We can also load impulse responses, including our own IRs and our own NUM A2 captures, either through Tone 3000 or by uploading them directly. So a tiny pedal like this giving us native NUM, even in the light version, is something I value, and we'll test how faithful it is in the more sound section of this video. Let's talk about the I/O, which is quite simple. On the sides we have two mono quarter-inch jacks for our guitar input and output. Then there is a USB-C port that can power the pedal. It's used for firmware updates through the STrATUS update tool, and it sends and receives MIDI. Connect it to a MIDI controller over USB host, and you can call up presets, toggle effects, and control the looper. So far the STrATUS cannot serve as an audio interface. To be noticed that there is also Bluetooth, which is how the app talks to the pedal. Now let's talk about the controls, as there are some clever choices. The STrATUS works in 3 modes, and the single knob that Chaos Audio calls the multi-knob changes job depending on the mode. The 3 modes are the looper mode, stomp box mode, and preset mode. Let's focus on stomp and preset modes. In stomp mode, the multi-knob becomes effect selector, and the foot switch toggles individual effects on and off. In preset mode, the multi-knob selects preset pairs, and the foot switch switches between presets. We can hold a multi-knob to jump between stomp box and preset modes. I find these solutions pretty nice and easy to understand, and we have also the help of the lights under the screen here. The pedal can be controlled via an app, as I said, which connects to the STrATUS via Bluetooth. Basically, the app is a must-have for this pedal, as it allows us to build, edit our effect chain, to import NUM profiles or IRs, etc. It is a nice app, pretty intuitive, and the connection between the app and the pedal is pretty fast. Physically, it's a curious little thing, but pretty functional in my opinion. Instead of the usual flat stomp box, it's more inclined, and to me this allows to be more clearly visible both live and at home on our desks. The exact dimensions are in the screen, and the weight is 330 grams. For power, the STrATUS wants a center negative 9V supply cable of at least 400 mA, and Chaos Audio strongly recommends an isolated dedicated supply. I mean, we do not have to daisy chain it with our other pedals. We can also power it over USB-C. Let me now describe a couple of technical specs that matter for us. Internally, the STrATUS runs at 44.1 kHz, and for NAM profiles, it resamples up to 48 kHz and back down to 44.1, so they sound right. The price is €269 and $299. Let's now move to the sound section of this video. Welcome to the more sound section of this video. We'll first listen to some sounds extracted from the demo song, then we'll perform our beloved null test on the NAM side of the STrATUS, and finally I will let you hear some dynamic range and note envelope tests. Let's start with some tones extracted from the demo song. Let's perform our beloved null test. For those of you who don't know, the null test is based on the principle that if we play two sounds with one of them phase inverted, the lower is the resulting LUFS, the more similar are the two sounds. Here's what I'm doing. I've made a NAM A2 capture of my real amp and I'm running that NAM A2 light model on the STrATUS and I'm nulling it against the real amp. Then, as a reference, I'm comparing it with the native NAM plugin A2 Lite loaded in the DAW. And now let's start the test. NAM A2 Lite plugin versus the real amp. We have minus 43.8. And now STrATUS versus real amp. So summarizing, the native NAM A2 Lite plugin gives us minus 43.8 LUFS, where the STrATUS NAM A2 Lite gives us minus 41.4 integrated LUFS. As expected, the A2 Lite inside the STrATUS loses a bit of quality, having to go through an ADI conversion and also having to be converted from 48 to 41 kHz, I guess. But being A2 Lite native, I mean not converted to an internal Chaos audio format, it still performs pretty well. Let's now perform our dynamic range and note envelope tests. Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases. You may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, Chaos Audio has sent me the STrATUS for free, and this video is sponsored, but they have not seen the script nor the video before you, and as usually I'm free to tell you whatever I want. Overall, the STrATUS is an unusual little pedal that does a lot in a very small box. Let me go through what stands out. The pros first. Native num-A2 support, even in the light version, is the big one for me. This is among the first pedal able to run real neural amp modeler captures, even if in light format. And the fact that we can load our own IRs and our num captures is exactly the kind of openness I like to see. Of course, the quality is not the one of A2 standard, but being still native num is better than some other converted num profiles loaded in our units. It's a genuinely flexible little box. You can chain effects in any order and stack multiple instances of the same effect. The effects quality is good. The reverbs in particular are nicely sounding. At a price barely above one boutique pedal, getting this many usable sounds is a fair deal, in my opinion. The AI FX Builder is a real novel feature. I won't oversell it, but describing a sound in words and getting usable starting tone is a clever idea. And for someone who doesn't want to dive into menus, it can be a useful way in. And now the cons. It runs at 44.1 kHz internally. Same comment I make on a lot of units. I would have preferred native 48 kHz. It is mono and not stereo. No USB audio interface. The USB-C is for power, firmware and MIDI only. As regard num-A2 Lite, well, I think this is controversial. I mean, of course, it is not like having full num-A2. But it must be noticed that A2 Lite is better compared to many other devices that run num, converted it to their native format. So here I was not sure if to put it on the pros or cons side. I would leave to you the choice. All in all, I think the STrATUS is a clever compact pedal, and for me the headline is clearly the native num and IR support on a unit this small and this affordable. Mono functionalities versus stereo and no audio interface functionalities are the things to weigh against that, depending on what you need it for. Now, please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. It would be interesting to know whether native num support on a tiny pedal like this is something you'd actually use. Please let me know in the comments. We have now reached the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would be of great help. If you're interested in my IRs or camper or num profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine to my new EP Art Love Freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.